Welcome to Study Session 13, Concept and Method of Project Evaluation. Introduction. As mentioned in the introductory unit, there is no clear-cut difference between project analysis and project evaluation. However, this unit will describe project evaluation as analysis in a post-project execution. In other words, project analysis will be taken to be an ex-post appraisal undertaken after the completion of a project. Meaning of project evaluation. As earlier explained, project evaluation deals with existing project being an ex-post appraisal undertaken after a particular project has been fully implemented. It involves a comprehensive appraisal or assessment of a project as to its operational efficiency, technically, economically, financially, and managerially. It is a specialized probe, usually carried out by a group of outside experts in the working of a project to find out a number of things such as 1. The achievement and weakness of the project and suggest ways to overcome the weakness. 2. The rate of return on the project, its economic and social profitability, and its side effect on the growth rate of population, employment, labor management, training, and on the rate of investment. 3. The impact of the project on the people of the areas, especially on their social and economic condition. 4. How much has been achieved and what remains to be achieved. 5. The varieties of supply and demand factors that is peculiar to the commodities and production techniques under consideration. Project evaluation is thus the procedures of fact-finding about the results of an investment which has been carried out. In it, we look back to the feasibility report to see if the cost or benefit has been overestimated, and also check if there have been changes in certain variables which affect the cost and benefits of the project, such as prices, tastes, demand, rate of interest, and so on. Stages and method of evaluation. Project evaluation generally involves 3 stages. 1. The review of the situation before the project is actually implemented. 2. The appraisal of the project when it is in operation in order to find out how much has been accomplished and what remains to be accomplished. 3. Evaluation of the ends achieved by the project when it is completed and is in full operation. In the methods of project evaluation, the usual stages are: A. The description of technical economic characteristics of the project. B. The estimation of the influence of the project on the economy, both during the construction as well as during the operational periods, when the investment is completed and new producing capacity is in operation. C. The evaluation of the producing consequences of the project, which may be direct or indirect. The direct effects consist of the immediate contribution to the production within the sector of the project, while the indirect effects are those sector vertically connected with the sector which make consumable items. Concept and criteria for cost-benefit analysis. Cost-benefit analysis implies weighting of the returns of a project against its cost. Its purpose is to describe and quantify the social advantages and disadvantages of a project in terms of a common monetary unit. It involves the enumeration, comparison, and evaluation of benefits and costs of a project. The cost-benefit analysis has been found to be the most appropriate and popular method for appraising projects from the national point of view. The analysis is the most scientific and useful criterion for proper evaluation. The main objective of the cost-benefit analysis is to establish the net social benefits of a national project. This objective function is expressed as benefit cost, where benefits and costs are measured in terms of shadow or accounting prices instead of actual market prices. The criteria for cost-benefit analysis. There are 4 major benefit cost criteria, and they are listed below. Where B represents benefits and C costs, I relates to direct investment, and D designates discounted incremental. The BC criterion deducts cost from benefits and determines the profit margin. This method always favors large projects and makes small and medium-sized projects less beneficial. Therefore, it is more useful in determining the scale of a project and not necessarily the viability. The BC over I criterion is for determining the total annual returns on a particular investment to the economy as a whole to whom these accrue. Here, the I does not include the private investment that may have to be incurred by the beneficiaries of the project, such as the cultivators of an irrigation project. If the private investment happens to be very large, since I do not include private investment, a high value of BC over I may be less beneficial to the economy. The DB over DC is usually meant to determine the size of the project and the time horizon of the project. That is, it does not consider how the future benefits and costs can be discounted into the present, whereas people in the society prefer the present to future. As a result of this, economists rely more on those criteria which discount the streams of cost and benefits into the present time. Examples are the net present value criterion, the internal rate of return criterion, the payback period criterion, which have been explained earlier. Please refer to previous sessions for detailed explanation. Project evaluation on the basis of cost and benefits. A. Evaluation on the basis of benefits. Gan stated that a project could be evaluated on the basis of benefits accruing to it. Benefits refer to addition to the flow of national output accruing from a project. A project is beneficial to the extent it tends to increase the income of the people being measured by the actual increase in production and consumption. Benefit takes various forms: real or nominal benefits, tangible or intangible benefits. 1. Real and nominal benefits. Real benefits is measured in terms of both achieving the primary objective of the project and at the same time increasing the level of productivity. For instance, if an irrigation project, besides increasing irrigation facilities, increases the productivities of the land, whereby the income of the farmers rises, it is said to have led to a real benefit. Nevertheless, if the increase in irrigation facilities is accompanied with the levy of heavy tenement rate on the people, the income is nominal. 2. Direct and indirect benefits. Direct benefits are those benefits which are immediately and directly obtainable from the project, for example, revenue or profits, skills and knowledge gained, and so on. The indirect benefits are the values added to the direct benefits as a result of activities stemming from or induced by the project, for example, provision of employment opportunities, construction of roads, electrification of the area, and so on. 3. Tangible and intangible benefits. A project may yield tangible or intangible benefits. The tangible benefits are those which can be computed and measured in terms of money. For example, the revenue accruing from the sale of cotton material of a textile industry. The intangible benefits are those benefits that cannot be measured in monetary terms. They are benefits for which there is neither a market nor price. A reduction in number or accident from a road project is an example of intangible benefits. Evaluation on the basis of costs. Costs refer to expenses incurred from the implementation of a project. There are various types of costs. But the indirect costs are the costs incurred in providing indirect benefits of a project. Examples are the cost of constructing access road, hospital, electricity, and recreational activities for thereafter. Limitations and uses of cost-benefit analysis. Limitations. There are a number of limitations that arise in cost-benefit analysis or measuring the present and future benefits of a project. These include difficulties of joint benefit costs, arbitrary discount rates, neglect of joint, ignoring the problem of opportunity cost by the cost-benefit analysis, the problem of adjustment for risk and uncertainty involvement in the project, the difficulties in calculating the side effects of a project, that is, the problem of externalities, and finally, difficulties of obtaining relevant data. Uses of cost-benefit analysis in developing nations. The cost-benefit analysis came into existence in the United States of America for the appraisal of investments in irrigation and transportation projects. Ever since then, other nations, including the developing countries in particular, have found cost-benefit analysis as a useful criterion for project appraisal. Stephen Marglin pointed out three merits of cost-benefit analysis for such countries. 1. It helps in reducing difference in the marginal effectiveness of alternative measures for accomplishing different objectives of a project. 2. It helps in assessing the cost of fulfilling one objective in terms of benefits sacrificed with respect to others. 3. It becomes difficult for any particular group to distort project plans to serve its own interests. 4. Another merit of the use of cost-benefit analysis is that it permits decentralization of decision making. In order to estimate the cost and benefit of a project, a separate authority is usually set up. 5. It is a practical way of assessing the desirability and viability of projects. It helps people to avoid white elephant projects. As such, it is a highly useful tool for project appraisal and evaluation in developing countries. This is the end of study session 13. Thank you.